Right on the set, goddammit. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Dodson.
Yum, yum. You're listening to Still Toking with.
This week, Ben, Jeff and Leo are still talking with actress Valerie Jane Parker and director-producer Nathaniel Nuon. Valerie and Nathaniel are here to talk about their latest movie, Voices, an amazing horror movie. In Voices, Valerie's character Lilly survives a car accident. In the aftermath, she struggles with her blindness and begins to hear voices. Unbeknownst to her, they don't belong to the living. After years of learning to cope, Lilly is now happily married with a baby on the way. Lilly soon discovers her unborn baby has become a vessel, a second chance for souls stuck in limbo to be reborn. Get ready for a kick-ass show shortly after these important messages.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
But thank you all for joining us. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Do you have a hankering for horror knowledge?
We have such sights to show you.
Do you require raging retro reviews? Do you desire discussions with devastatingly dashing dorks? The Dorkening Podcast Network has nearly 30 shows to satisfy all of your nerdy, geeky, and dorky needs, from horror reviews and celebrity interviews.
Hi, I'm Adam Green, the director of the Hatchet films and the star of Holliston.
Hi, this is Dominic Pace, who played the bounty hunter Gecko from The Mandalorian.
Hi, I'm Mike Price. I'm a writer on The Simpsons. I co-created F is for Family.
Hi, guys. This is Dee Wallace from E.T. and Cujo.
Hi, my name is Kurando Mitsutake, director of Gun Woman and Karate Kill.
Hi, this is Samantha Newark, the voice of Jem and Jerrica from the original Jem and the Holograms cartoon series.
As well as nostalgic trips into the past, pop culture, the latest in entertainment news, and so much more, featuring a variety of shows and hosts that will simultaneously enrage, enlighten, and entertain you. Check out the Dorkening Podcast Network.
My mom says I'm cool.
Available on iTunes, Spotify, thedorkening.com, and wherever fine podcasts can be found.
Hey, welcome to another awesome episode of Still Toking with, and with us as always, actually, we just have them on one screen now. Ben and Jeff, how's it going, my friends?
It's going well. Going fantastic as always. Yeah, we're on one screen because we are once again in New York. Yes.
Awesome. And why are you in New York?
We were driving around mostly.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we're filming.
Yeah. Well, we're scouting sites and potential locations
for episode 3.
Yeah, for some of the weird little shit we're going to be putting in some of the filming. Yes.
Very cool. Well, speaking of episodes, if you're new to the show, check the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. You'll find information about our awesome guests, and also episode 1 of Still Toking With is in the show notes as well. You can check it out on Vimeo.
Leo, I love the new background, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's
you get your office finished, I see.
Yeah. It was a lot of work. Mostly a lot of wiring in the electronics cabinet. So
well, now we can see the window.
Yeah, you can see the window, and it's So nice. You don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about our awesome guest. Who is with us today?
Go ahead.
That's some gorgeous thing there. Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, jeez. Leo, this is bad that he's on the same channel.
Oh, jeez. Okay. You know what? You may know her from Wrong Turn. She has a brand new movie out called Voices, which is absolutely phenomenal. I watched it myself today. And you may know her from a bunch of other places, but we are speaking with the most awesome Valerie Jane Parker. How's it going?
Oh, so good. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Even if you don't know my name, it's okay.
Wait a minute. Nobody
it's on the screen now. You can read it.
I like her.
Thank you.
I think I got a new co-host.
Nobody said no. I didn't know her name. I was cut off before I got to that part.
Well, because I knew where it was going to go, I figured we'll just...
Right off the tracks.
Well, I was bringing it off the tracks right out of the get-go.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Now, the big question
is... That's what I do. That's what I do.
Everybody loves a train wreck.
Oh, well, you'll love this show then.
Oh, good.
So the big question is, Ben, did you let him have the gummies, or did he raid Bill's vodka again?
Well, we just got back from the bar.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
So both?
Well, it's been a long, we were literally driving for hours today.
Yeah, we literally scouted locations.
It was really cool.
Today.
No, the gummy hasn't kicked in. I ate that about 20 minutes ago.
I promise Leo, if he gets out of hand, I can just do this.
Oh, now I'm just in the distance.
Hello. Anyways, welcome to the show, Valerie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to come on, especially,
Hey, I'm a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just ask me.
And we may have another guest joining us a little later, Nathaniel, and I'm going to butcher his last name, Nuon.
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
Awesome.
It's 4 letters, Leo. How bad can you butcher it? It's Nuon.
It's not like trying to push the buttons on your computers, Leo.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm from the South. That's a lot of vowels. It could be like Nuon down here. Yeah. You don't know.
Right.
Leoin. It's a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I suppose. The way some of it is, some people pronounce stuff.
Yeah, look, New York.
Well, we're Boston guys.
We're originally from
so
we're
you
not from New York.
You think you're tougher than me?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Why? Where are you from?
Africa, actually.
I know. I read that. I read that. So, while we're waiting for Nathaniel and getting into Voices, the new movie you're in, let's talk a little bit about you, where you're from, where you've been, what you're doing, which is kind of how we usually do the show anyways. So
Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe.
What?
You're
Zimbabwe?
reading it.
Is it?
Oh, he is so fired.
See, a lot of vowels. It's hard.
Zimba.
It's okay.
It's
Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe.
So you were born in Zimbabwe?
I was, yes. To missionary parents over there, and then they moved. They're both from Tennessee, so they moved back to Tennessee. And my dad became a pastor. So
I read that.
Yeah, pastor's kid.
That's kind of.
Well, I'm curious as to where exactly this Zimbabwe is.
I can't do this.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun tonight.
Zimbabwe is a country right above South Africa.
Okay, so it's just above South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, Africa's a big continent, and I wasn't sure where.
No, it actually is. That's a good question.
See, you mean crap?
Google could have answered it, but I am happy to.
Thank you.
So how long did you live in Zimbabwe?
Oh, only 3 years.
Okay.
Moved back when I was young, so I don't have any real memories. people like, I think I remember things, but it's just because I've seen like the video so many times or been told the story. There's no way I actually do. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, that's extremely interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool. Makes me sound cool.
It looks great on my IMDb. Leave me alone.
Right.
So I was no. Well, this is something I'm interested in. How did you, looking at your resume, you have a ton of different accents you can do for the different characters, for obviously for any roles you could do. What is your favorite, and how did you learn them all?
Oh man, I grew up doing theater, so I had to get really good at accents for theater, and I did a show called The 39 Steps where I played so many characters. One woman plays like 70 roles in that show, and I had to master accents for that, and the one that was the hardest was the Scottish accent, so that was the one that I was probably most proud of. But you just, you could audio tapes on it, you learn how they say their vowels. And then I tend to find like once I can like get a sentence in that accent stuck in my head, I can then say anything else, like starting from there. It's just like you practice saying those vowel sounds so many times that then like you find a way to lock in.
That's cool. Can you speak Boston?
No, actually, that is the one American one I'm bad at. I can't do Boston.
Wow, that's wicked cool.
Yeah, Boston gets me. You guys have a tricky accent.
Because we're tough.
Because you're tough. Hard to pin down.
Right? Well, there's always been that battle going on between the Boston and the New York accent.
Well, I thought Boston.
We're in New York.
We're in New York.
So,
I thought Boston, you just remove the R from everything.
Well, that's part of it.
Listen, Mr. Connecticut. We drive by you on the way home. I will stop and throw toilet paper.
It's okay.
No, we don't save that.
Well, that's worth money.
Yes.
As I'd say, a year ago, that would have been a valuable offer. You would have been a good friend.
Yeah.
Right?
We have a gremlin creeping around up here.
Come say hi, Bill. Just come in and say hi.
Say hi.
Come say hi to Valerie.
I'm not going to say the name. They're asking, how's your Australian accent?
I believe that's pronounced Fook Azoo.
Yeah, I was going to say Fook Zoo.
Yeah, definitely. That is 100% what Fook Zoo was going for. Let's see, Australian accent. I hate being put on the spot with accents, but I could do that. I feel embarrassed now. Cool. And now I'm taking up the whole screen too. It's what I've always wanted. I don't know. Like everybody says, like, blimey, and throw the shrimp on the barbie and stuff. But I like to say yeah, because yeah can normally get me into an Australian accent really well because they don't finish their vowels. Like, I mean, they don't really finish the ends of their sentences. So yeah, it's okay.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, thank you. And then fuck you. I believe that's how.
Tony says the new Wrong Turn brought the series in a new direction. Did you enjoy the original series?
I did, but I was also so impressed by Mike Nelson was the director, and I thought that his take was so inventive and clever. Like, it was a nice change up. I think if they had tried to just remake the original series, we've already seen it, and we've seen in horror a million remakes of the same thing too. Like, it's not really exciting. I think what excites people is when you take something, you take a trope or a stereotype, a story we've told before, and you kind of flip it on its head. And I feel like Mike did that with Wrong Turn. Some fans loved it, some fans hated it, but everybody had an opinion. And at least something like that, you're going to keep watching all the way through. So
Right.
I was a fan of the original and a fan with the new vision.
Yeah, I was always a fan of the original, all of them.
The Cannibals?
I didn't get to see the second one, the new one, though.
Well, you're going to watch it now because she's in it.
Well, I tried to find it before we came to New York. I just didn't have enough time. It takes me a long time to find it, and I'm getting old.
Oh, I'm sorry. That must be difficult.
I'm sorry, too. Go away. Your time's done. All right.
Are all your guests as pleasant and wonderful as me?
No.
Most of them are not.
Matter of fact, you're more wonderful than these two.
Would you like my seat tonight?
Oh, you're doing fine.
Whoa! Look at that. That was almost like the rocks in the mountain. It was just right in your face.
Yeah.
I used to have such like a bad snort when I laughed that my mom was like, Valerie, you will never get a boyfriend if you laugh in front of them. Like, no man will ever want that. She told me that.
Yeah, I snort when I get going too, so.
Yeah, but that's the white stuff.
Oh.
I knew where that was going.
I snort, but not when I laugh. Only when you sleep.
So Tony's gonna try to bring us on tracks. He's asking, so
Thank
what's
you, Tony?
Yeah. So what's the premise of Voices? What's it all about?
The premise of Voices is that there is a young woman named Lilly who loses her eyesight very early on through a tragic accident, and that accident gives her a connection to the other side. So she becomes pregnant later on and finds out that she has, up until the first heartbeat of her child, of her baby that's growing inside of her, to choose a spirit. All these undead spirits are coming to her and they want to inhabit her baby. And if she doesn't choose a ghost spirit to come move on in and inhabit her baby, then the other side will choose for her. And basically she will end up giving birth to like an antichrist. So yeah, little Sixth Sense, little Rosemary's Baby, a lot creepy, and I am blind.
Yeah.
How did you manage to play somebody blind?
Yeah, you did it really well.
I was just going to say, she did an amazing job.
Thank you. It was a lot of work. I watched a lot of documentaries on people who lose their eyesight later on, especially since she already was seeing. It's a different process that you go through with the muscles and the grieving. And then I got a cane and blackout glasses and practiced around my home and ended up going out into public. I did small errands, like going to the grocery store and getting coffee without my vision. That was really difficult. And then the most important thing I did to prep for it is I have a friend who's blind, my friend Bobby Holland, and he let me shadow him for a couple days. So we would walk through practical things that I didn't think about. Like he's like, oh, I never use a cane in my house. I know my house. I touch all the surfaces instead. Things like that. Shadowed him on his job. He's a sound engineer, and working with him one-on-one and seeing his real life experience day in, day out. That was, so helpful.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, I watched it and I was like, wow.
So
she's really playing this role very well.
You didn't like put on a blindfold and walk around.
No.
It wasn't like that. That's what I recall. I tried to do that with you.
You try to give him a muzzle.
And he keeps coming back, guys. You're doing a bad job.
I know. It's
well, you know,
no blindfold.
We do have the trailer for. We got a bunch of people watching now. So Voices, and I believe it's out on VOD right now. Correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So
all the major platforms.
Awesome. Here's Voices.
Loss of vision can be a difficult situation for her to adapt to. You have to prepare her for what's coming up.
The other day, Lilly described something like she could see it. She said the voices told her.
Why are you crying?
Voices again.
I lost my baby.
My dear baby! Take me home with you!
Excuse me? Yes. I was just wondering, do you want a boy or a girl?
Oh, what are you doing? You look like a crazy person. I was just talking to... There's nobody there alone. I heard a... You and your baby are special. A lifeline that wasn't meant to exist. You have the power to choose the spirit that will be reborn in your baby. What happens if I don't choose? Then they will choose for you.
You are not making any sense.
I can hear them! They want to be our baby!
I saw the evil that is coming.
That's awesome. Voices out on VOD right now. Definitely, I urge you to check it out. And if you're a fan of horror or a fan of suspenseful movies, you'll definitely enjoy it.
Well, Bill, see, somebody who can act. Do you know anybody like that? No, you two. If I'm working with them, I'm hearing voices. Wait, pregnant?
Morning laughs.
Morning laughs.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the chat.
It was impressive. Very nice. Nicely done.
You,
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of
I
fun.
thought Leo was asking a question. He had that look.
Oh, I was going through the comments. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a question because you were like,
no. I was no.
Like being on the edge of a sneeze, but it doesn't come out.
Yeah,
right.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm kind of bummed out I didn't get a chance to before we had you on the show, but
I mean,
you saw
I'm
it.
kind of bummed out.
Now the movie will be it'll mean more to me now.
Hi, Tracy.
Because now I've met you. See.
And so, what will it mean? You'll be like, man.
Well, because now I feel like I have talked to and met the actual person in the film instead of seeing the film and wondering what you're like.
Ah.
It's two different ways to look at it.
How would you describe me?
What's the little voice in your ear say?
Be nice.
Listen to your heart, not the vodka.
Oh,
Well, I was thinking vodka. Oh, okay.
Thanks. Thanks, Lady J. I missed it. My eye doctor appointment I need to make soon. Valerie, if you could remake any movie, that what would be? I can't read.
What would it be? Do you want me to finish this for you, Leo?
What would it be, and what would your dream role be?
Alien, the first one.
Oh my God!
Excellent.
Yeah, hands down.
You want to be the alien?
No.
Oh,
she wants to take. Yeah, she wants to take Sigourney's role.
I mean, Sigourney, that's a dream role. She is a tough, sexy, badass chick. Like,
I second that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I second that.
So,
one of my all-time favorite series.
Oh man, isn't it so good? They're all good. I mean, yeah, they're all entertaining. Love it, love it.
We have somebody in the back room. The director of voices himself, Nathaniel Nuon. How's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We've already talked about the whole movie though, so you're
I gave away the entire plot.
Perfect.
And I told them
away
where
the
they
ending
could
and
steal it
everything.
for free.
Late to the party. Sorry. Yeah, I'm living on like a couple different time zones right now.
So we were talking about the movie out on VOD, and actually this question just came in. Will the movie be released on physical media?
I believe so. I mean, for internationally, it's already on a couple like physical media. I don't know yet when they're gonna release here in the U.S. There is talks that it is going to another streaming platform, so which is good for us. So I don't know too much about that yet. I can't really say much either.
I have a question. Tony, do you really have 9 fingers? His name was Tony has 9 fingers. I want to know the deeds.
Yeah, I used to do a show with him. He messed up one of his fingers in school and he can't straighten it. So they named him Tony 9 Fingers.
Tony 9 Fingers.
Yeah.
That sounds
He's got 11 toes.
badass.
11 toes. And for some reason, Lady J thought Tomb Raider.
Oh, that'd be another. I would totally love to redo.
I could see her rocking that one too.
Oh, absolutely.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the new one based on the new games is pretty good too.
Yeah, but that's not why we're here.
I'm just saying. Jeez, just adding my 2 cents. That's it.
Yeah, you know what they say, right? Put your 2 cents back in your pocket.
Well, fine, Ben. So why are we here?
We're here to talk to these wonderful guests down. Yes, them two.
Still don't know our names.
Nathaniel and Valerie, or Valerie and Nathaniel. Now that Nathaniel is here.
Right. So, Nathaniel, where are you from?
I'm living in Alabama right now. I was born in Cambodia. So
Cambodia. Okay, see, that's something I can pronounce. Not
Only
the
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
What? Nothing. I just normally I would be like, Leo, just mute his mic. We'll voice over him. But yeah.
No, you did that once. It wasn't funny.
Yeah, Twitch spammers are
That's
entering.
a good question from Tony. I like that.
Where did Nathaniel pull inspiration for the movie?
It's actually funny enough. It's about my mom's dream. So I think a while back, I can't remember exactly, not when, but my mom and I were having lunch, and we were just got into the topic about dreams, and she was telling me about this reoccurring dream of a little girl knocking on her door, asking if she can stay with us. And my mom kept on telling her no, no, no for like weeks. And then finally she said, okay, sure. So she let the little girl in, and then she told the dream to my grandma, and my grandma was like, oh, well, yeah, you're pregnant and you're going to have a little baby girl. And then 9 months later, my sister was born. So I thought that story was really interesting. And then I started digging, into our culture a lot more. And it's actually very heavily rooted in Southeast Asian culture that, a woman or a pregnant woman usually have developed some sort of like sixth sense kind of abilities, I guess. And, they have this, ability to pick and choose what kind of trapped souls that can come back and reincarnate and live their life before they can move on to the next, I guess, afterlife, what we believe. But yeah, that's where that kind of originated from. And then I kind of like developed the concept based off of that idea.
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's actually a great concept, or a great way to view the concept. I wouldn't have thought like that. I would have thought that's how he would have got that concept.
Well, it's because like all your dreams are wet.
And you'll get you nowhere.
I think it's a great way to look at reincarnation.
Right.
I watch a lot of paranormal shows, and there's some awesome stories about where this kid was talking about he was a fighter pilot, and he has all these memories and how he crashed and everything, and the mom kept on asking him questions, and they actually tracked down the family and actually the pilot that he thinks he was. It was just crazy stories out there.
That's cool.
Oh yeah. I read about that one too. It was pretty interesting. I think there's a book out about it, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, it was and then when we started developing the idea, actually it kind of sat on the back burner for a while until like somebody came and approached me and asked me if I had some sort of like horror idea. And then it wasn't really designed to be a horror at first. It had horror elements, but it was and I kind of like at first thought like, I don't know if I want to do a horror, and because it was more like a story about my mom. So when it first developed, it was more about like motherhood and so it was more of a supernatural drama. But we had so many different versions of the screenplay that was just going the wrong way. And then actually, when I decided to kind of like fully control of it, and it's like, I think we're doing this all wrong. And I started like developing the script in a way where it was, because when I started doing research on visually impaired people, I realized that how they watch a movie was through audio description, and I thought that was always interesting. And a lot of filmmakers and a lot of movies are not designed for or made for audio description. It's like that's the last thing they think about. It's like like subtitling or closed captioning for deaf people. So with voices, I had a chance to like write and design the script for visually impaired. So it has a lot of like moments that, and the way they talk and the way they do things is designed for people who can't see. So that was like something that I was like kind of really like made the project special to me. And so when Valerie and we were all on set, I kind of explained to them like, we're actually not making this movie for people who can see. We're actually making this movie for people who can't see. And and we designed the movie to have the same pacing for visually impaired people. So when the audio description falls into place, it flows perfectly. So you have this natural transition between each scene, even with the acting. So that's just a little tad bit like inner that probably not a lot of people realize except for the people on set.
Nice.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it was really clever. It's why the dialogue he wrote is so descriptive, like verbally descriptive. And like instead of it being jarring with the movie literally having to pause and you don't have a soundtrack, like it's built into the score. There's time for all the narration to take place.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a much more cohesive experience if you are visually impaired getting to watch our film.
Well, like they say, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but if you can't see the picture, you need the 1,000 words.
Yep.
That's true.
Wow, I'm almost impressed with you.
You like that one, huh?
that was good.
Oh, no, I didn't give you one. I said almost.
Tony says it has an Omen meets the Uninvited vibe, but it has a better backstory.
Hey, thank you. I don't get a lot of compliments on my back.
Wait a minute. No, I'm not going to go there. No.
Well, see, I watched the movie, so
okay. Compliments on the back.
I watched the movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Yeah, that needs nothing further.
Okay. Well,
Leo?
Yes, sir.
On that note, can we go to commercial?
We can. So, definitely check out the show notes and follow our awesome guests. There's still plenty of show left, so definitely stay with us. And so we're talking about the movie Voices, which is out now on VOD. Absolutely phenomenal movie. But, our show and the Dorkening Podcast Network has an awesome sponsor, Deadly Grounds Coffee. They make the absolute best coffee you'll ever have. It's a little mom and pop shop here in Connecticut. And, if you like flavored coffee, Death by Chocolate is amazing. But, support small businesses and, you get great coffee out of it. But here's a zombie talking about coffee.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds Coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds Coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
So head on over to getdeadly.com and, I need to place an order myself. There's a new s'mores flavor oh my God. Also, a couple of guys have been working on something down in New York. It's a little thing called Toking with the Dead, episode 1, out now, and that is also in the show notes. And here's a trailer.
If your world was turned upside down, what would you do?
What the fuck are we gonna do now? Get high?
We are the watching. We are the waiting. We are the remnant. Host of vengeful souls forsaken. We'll show no mercy. We'll show no kindness. We'll strip your flesh and leave your captive bones behind us. We are the uninvited.
It was more fun that way.
And Toking with the Dead episode 1 is available now on Vimeo. Links in the show notes. And episode 2 is coming out soon, right?
I got Leo.
Episode 2 is
in post.
It's in post. That's a few months out still.
Okay.
And
I would say a few months out.
We shot like 3 scenes from episode 3 and then did some scout locations. But okay, enough about that. Back to these fine guests that we have down here.
Well, I wanted to say something here because the basis of the the storyline and the whole reincarnation and all that kind of stuff reminds me of my uncle actually wrote a book years ago called Whispers Through Time. And it's all about reincarnation, and it's about a psychologist, or you get hypnotized. He hypnotizes his patients and has a way to bring out their past lives.
Past life regression. I know people who do it. I'm a regular, but I know
absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. And this is the first actual movie that I've heard about that kind of stuff, and I think it's great. You know, the reincarnation and this, that, and the other. You know.
Yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers. All I'm going to say is the bus stop scene was awesome. Bathroom scene was awesome. Great choice on your choice, and I really wish I got to see Jerry die. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, everything about it was awesome. I did enjoy the movie, but I don't want to give away too many parts to it because we want people to go see it, and you can find it in the show notes. Where, Leo?
Up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Tony says you have a very nice back.
Here we go with that back again.
And he wants to know, and he has a question for Nathaniel as well. So Tony's asking for Valerie. Was this the most difficult role to prepare for?
You know, every role has its challenges. I don't know that this was the most difficult role I've ever had to prepare for, but it would be top 3. Just because I wanted to be so. It was really important to me not to downplay or caricature anything that a blind person experiences, because this is something that affects thousands and thousands of people, and I wanted to be really honest to their experience. So in that way, in the physicality part, yes, but everything's different.
And he's asking for Nathaniel, is Paralyzed your next film?
Actually, it's before. It was before Voices. It's just now getting some sort of release date picked up, because it was I shot Paralyzed 2 years before I did Voices, like super indie style, and we had roughly about 10 grand to shoot it, and we shot a whole feature. And it's kind of like us along the same lines as Voices, kind of I guess they're happening in the same universe in a sense. But it's completely a different type of storyline. But they are, a lot of people are like, well, I mean, it's definitely happening simultaneously. If I was ever to do a sequel to Voices, some of the characters from Paralyzed would meet some of the characters from Voices.
Oh, nice.
Just because the story kind of intertwines with each other. As far as in terms of like the idea of being special, we're not the existence of yourself here. And the other thing that I was like, when I was doing research that kind of like gave me goosebumps was when the accident. I read about an accident or heard about an accident, and I looked it up on YouTube. I don't know if the video is still there, but a woman was calling for help for EMT to come get her baby because they were trapped under the car. And the EMT heard her clearly. They had it on cell phone. He ran over there to go get it, to go help her. And then they found out like later that the mom had died like hours before that. And they heard her. They heard the mom calling out like clearly. So I always thought that was interesting, like that the fact that like her daughter was either supposed to die in the accident but didn't. So they have like an alternate lifeline or like a parallel universe that is not supposed to exist between a person who's supposed to have died. So every person they come across or affect their lives, which, in terms create a new timeline. So that's kind of like the premise for Paralyzed and Voices.
Nice.
Think about it.
So IMDb, the synopsis says an EMT who has cheated death for most of his life finally has to pay his debt when death comes to collect during an evening spent at a friend's home. So where can people find Paralyzed? Is that on VOD as well?
Not yet. When Voices got picked up, and then everybody's like, what do you have next? And then I was like, well, I do have this film that I worked on 2 years ago, pre-Voices. And then so now they're like, oh, we love to pick it up. So we're actually in the process of getting it out to the distributors and releasing that. But no, that's actually pre-Voices.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm working on a sci-fi film now, so.
Do you have a chip or something in my fucking computer? Because I literally just went to IMDb to look at that so that I could ask a question, and you just went.
I'm sorry. I try to stay on things.
Okay, cool. It's the Leo show, folks.
No. All you.
Did I read something about Emmys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your Emmys, Seth.
I read something about Emmys. Don't be shy.
Yeah, when I got back from moved back from Orlando to stay with my mom to help her out for Katrina, just kind of just wiped out her house completely, and she barely could speak English, so I came back and kind of helped her out, and I kind of just stayed here and then kind of settled in, and At the time, there was not a lot of things that we can make, do here in Alabama before like the whole film boom in Atlanta. So, I wrote a short film about Cambodia, and, I was always, curious about like how somebody can, a country that can be, so prosperous and then all suddenly like just like dwindle down to nothing. And, I wrote I talked to a bunch of people like how did, the Khmer Rouge happen? This is such a crazy genocide in our history, and we don't even know how like it occurred. So, so I'd start writing, what led up to the Khmer Rouge, and it's called Residue. And, we shot it again, very low budget. It's very like driven by like dialogue. And, we went into a couple film festivals, and then it just started winning a couple film festivals and got nominated for an Emmy. And then we won 2 Emmys, one for, I think, Best Short Film, and then the other one for music. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it was back in 2009, 2010, so it's a while back.
Still count. They don't expire.
That's right. They don't
exactly.
expire.
They never expire. I mean, that's actually a very prestigious award to win.
I wish
funny enough, funny enough, it was a historical piece. So
nice.
They don't reproduce.
No, they don't reproduce.
Looking at me like.
I have to deal with this all the time.
I'm so sorry, Ben. I'm so sorry.
When cons open and we're on the road, I got to deal with this.
Well,
filming in New York.
Hey, I'm a lot
once
of fun
a month.
live.
I got to deal with this.
Speaking of cons, Valerie, I see you just went to a horror festival or a horror convention. How was that experience with the pandemic and everything?
Well, if I'm being honest, it was
Please do.
brief because my grandmother died that weekend.
Oh,
yeah, I was like, not to bring up something like sad or serious, but yeah, so I was in and out. I did not get to spend much time there. But the little bit of time I spent there, it was interesting. People worked masked into their costumes. I mean, also their convention sold out so quickly because they had to do social distancing. They were already holding it in a much bigger space than usual. But they were like, oh, tickets are gone. I mean, they disappeared. And it definitely kicked my butt into getting vaccinated sooner. So I'm like, because I knew I had that coming up, I went ahead and did the shots.
Nice. Do you have both your shots already, or?
Oh, I am done, baby.
Nice.
All free over here. Moderna.
Awesome. I'm getting my second next week.
Oh, nice. Which one did you do? Moderna or Pfizer?
Pfizer.
Nice. I hope you don't have any side effects.
Yeah, I'm
really.
That's supposed to be.
This is my side effect.
No side effects for Leo. We need him for the show.
From what I've heard, probably the day after, I'll probably feel like crap. So
you're going to get it on a Thursday, right?
I'm getting it on a Thursday, and I told my boss I'll probably take Friday off. And where I am, it's like
he won't screw up our show on Wednesday.
Right.
I'm in like Pfizer homeland. There's huge Pfizer campuses, and a matter of fact, one of our friends actually was on the team that was working on the vaccine, and it's just
cool.
Yeah.
See, it's Dolly Parton country down here in Nashville, and she helped fund Moderna, so it's Dolly shots all the way down here. We've got lots of Moderna.
Dolly shots.
Yeah.
Dolly shots. Little shot of Dolly Parton in your arm, little double D.
Where the hell were we today? What was that? Dolly.
Oh, that was
what movie was filmed?
You guys totally missed that.
No, we didn't.
They're fine.
We didn't miss it. You guys are talking about the shots in Pfizer. We swam in the Hudson.
No, she's like double D Dollies or something.
Oh yeah, I know. I heard her.
I didn't miss that.
Yeah. Tony says.
About my boob jokes.
Hello, Dolly. There's Hello, Dolly.
Oh, that's right too. The movie Hello Dolly.
We went. Yeah, we actually saw the little hotel that was in that was used for the Hello Dolly filming.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That would be, yeah.
Sorry, Nathaniel. I know we're supposed to be talking about your movies and stuff, but
no, I'm good.
What happens when you come on our show?
I'm good.
Tony says, Nathaniel, we love low budget films around here. And Tony, keep an eye out because this was brought to us by Clint over at October Coast. So keep an eye out for his stuff.
Yeah, Tony, talk to Kevin. You can have them as guests.
Yeah, totally. And also, you'll have to come to New Jersey for the big 3 horror cons. Yeah, there's.
I was just thinking that she would fit right in at THC down in Virginia.
Yeah, we're doing one in Virginia.
Tidewater Horror.
Yes, Tidewater hotter. Yeah,
Hotter? That's the vodka.
No, it's not. That's the gummy.
No, I thought say it's the gummy kicking in.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah,
like
that, yeah.
45. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll drink my water.
Yeah, you should. Tidewater Horror Convention down in Norfolk, Virginia.
Cool. Yeah.
We just signed on to that one in
Sweet,
Evil
sweet.
Expo.
Yeah, Evil Expo's in
Pennsylvania.
I'll definitely check.
So, Nathaniel, I have a question for you. What led you to choosing Valerie, or what characteristic did you like of Valerie's that landed her in this leading role?
Her back.
Hobby.
I asked Nathaniel.
Oh.
Clearly.
Definitely not her back. I
don't know if you agree with that whole thing.
They, the funny thing is, Mike, our producer, when we were doing casting, we had a bunch of auditions. Like Judy, our casting director, had submitted I can't remember, like probably hundreds, even maybe thousands, like people from all over. And I actually didn't watch a single one of them until probably the last 10. So I kind of just sat and basically was going through, like, at the office, just listening to all the audition, and while Mike, the producer, he was watching it, and then I would just listen to who I liked, because like I actually just wanted to make sure that like that person sounded like Lilly versus like looking or like performing. So it was more about their speech pattern, their words, and how they sound in the cadence of like what they say. Just because I knew, like, going into it, that when someone who's visually impaired watching this, it just the person had to sound like Lilly instead of look like it. So Valerie made it all the way down to the last 10, and I actually didn't watch anybody's performance to the last 10 people that we were picking based off of like how they sound. So that was a weird way of auditioning, but that was just how it worked for this project. And Mike was like, "You sure you don't want to watch her? She's pretty good." I was like, "Nah, she just doesn't sound right." And then so I might have passed up like a whole bunch of people that probably could have got thrown if I was watching it visually, but yeah, I casted like all our leads based off of how they sound before I actually saw them. And then funny enough, we went to a karaoke bar, and everyone we cast can sing. They were just killing at a karaoke bar. So I guess like I did something right. Like you and Jonathan were both like amazing singers. So was Rosita. Like
that's actually pretty cool.
Casting
somebody for a movie, but not based on
their performance.
On their look.
Yeah.
It's based on the voice. That's actually pretty cool.
Well, based on the style of movie and what he was going for. I mean, that's
when it came down to the last 10 people, it was performance and stuff. And Valerie has some chemistry read with Jonathan too. So it was just like down to like, when we first started, I just wanted to hear people instead of like, seeing them. And then when we got down to the final picks, that's when we were like, okay, we need to watch them. And that's when we can kind of see like how they would actually fit together. And then, but it was heavily, like I said, 80% of it was designed for visually impaired. And then the other was for visual stuff. So even though like I try to focus on it being a very visual movie, it does have a lot of like symbolism in the film. A lot of people don't really catch it, but some of the stuff that we do in the film are designed to be symbolic towards pregnancy and the early stages of conception. Obviously the underwater scene, everybody can see it and would know like, oh, it's the first stages, and then the old man scene is to me it's
that was cool.
When Valerie and I were talking about it, I was like, I think of it as reverse pregnancy. So, when a baby's born, it's kind of slimy, it's very young and full of life. And then, and it obviously exits a mother. For reverse pregnancy, the spirit is a symbolism like, death, an older man dying, slimy, and he's trying to be reborn again by crawling back into a mother. So yeah, a weird symbolic meaning.
I'll tell you that scene. I actually spoke to Jeff about that scene prior to the show. I was like, dude, this one scene, this happened, and I was just like, whoa. And then the reaction that Valerie had in the film, I was like, whoa. Okay, cool, all right. I'm digging this. But yeah, that was a great scene. I left that one out of my little montage. Anyway.
Thank you.
On purpose.
It was a fun night to shoot. We funny enough, Jonathan was actually really asleep when they cut over when she screamed. Yeah. Like that's why it took him so long to react. It's like,
Well,
it
and
was a comfortable bed, I guess.
and they had to like come in and cut out the bed frame underneath me so that it could look like the old man was disappearing within me. He managed to sleep during that. We're like lying in this bed frame. I have my legs like splayed open and they're sawing, and the actor next to me is just snoring. Like he's asleep. He's sound.
Sounds familiar. Not me. So do you.
Wow, he sounds somebody like me. I mean, I can sleep through a house fire, literally. So yeah.
He was like, no, it's comfortable. Just wake me up when we're going.
Oh, jeez.
There's a song going right now. There are people between my legs. How are you comfortable?
I think when you walked on set, you were like, you looked at him that night. You were like, honey, I think we should switch side tonight.
I did ask him to switch sides with that.
So we got a bunch of people watching, and I just wanted to grab this opportunity. We're talking about Voices, which is out on VOD right now, and that scene we were just talking about, that was like a what the fuck moment for me. It was like, what the hell is going on? But anyway, here's the trailer for Voices. We urge you definitely check it out. You're gonna love it. I did as well. Here we go.
Loss of vision can be a difficult situation for her to adapt to. You have to prepare her for what's coming up.
The other day, Lilly described something like she could see it. She said the voices told her.
Why are you crying?
Voices again.
I lost my baby.
My dear baby! Take me home with you!
Excuse me? Yes. I was just wondering, do you want a boy or a girl?
Lo, what are you doing? You look like a crazy person. I was just talking to. There's nobody there, Lo. I heard a. You and your baby are special. A lifeline that wasn't meant to exist. You have the power to choose the spirit that will be reborn in your baby.
What happens if I don't choose?
Then they will choose for you.
You are not making any sense.
I can hear them. They want to be our baby.
I saw the evil that is coming.
Voices out on VOD right now. Check the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And we're back.
Wow. I mean, just look, I can't wait.
Like I said, I watched it, and I literally was like, whoa. So, you know me.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get into it because I'm not going to spoil it. I want people to go watch it.
Totally.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All of them.
All of them. All of you.
Everybody over there in that chat bar that I keep looking at.
Do it now. Exit this right now.
What's next on your docket? What are you thinking about? How are you going to follow up the Voices?
Who you asking?
Both of them.
Well, you got to ask one at a time.
I'm asking them both. Let's see who jumps in first.
I'll let
do
Val.
it my way, you do it yours. Leave me alone.
We're gonna create a sequel to it called The Fragrances, and we're gonna kill it.
Sorry.
Oh, thanks, Tony. No, for me, I have a couple things in the pipeline, but they're all offers, nothing is signed. So I hope that they work out. I don't know.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we'll find out.
Okay.
Seth?
I'm actually working on a sci-fi thriller / kind of like still leaning into horror. We're doing a lot of LED virtual production shooting, basically mapping out the environments on LED walls and creating a world, shooting it all on a soundstage, similar to The Mandalorian. Because I have a heavy visual effects background, but also I run a virtual reality company that does simulations for medical companies. So, we've been dabbling in the VR world for about 4 or 5 years now. So it was only a matter of time where we were taking the VR technology and merging it into filmmaking. So it's exciting stuff. We've been doing a lot of test shoots and we're getting the project off the ground. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and sci-fi is kind of like my big thing. So, I love sci-fi, and it's just one of those things that I wanted to do like a different type of like sci-fi, but also just I grew up with watching early Twilight Zones with Rod Serling and stuff, so I'm always into that kind of weirdness, but also like in the genre of like sci-fi has always been my thing. I talk about a lot. I mean, it's probably not it's a very dated movie, but I love the Event Horizon, I love The Abyss. Those are just movies I grew up with. The Explorers, I mean, it's not like a horror or anything, but it's just kids and building a spaceship and meeting aliens, friendly aliens, I guess. And obviously, like Valerie said, like everybody loves Aliens, the original Aliens. So, and John Carpenter, The Thing, those are just stuff I grew up with watching.
Classic stuff right there.
Yep. Good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I love hearing you talking about like the LED wall and stuff like that, because with yes, I'm getting geeky here. I know what you're thinking, Ben.
No, it's cool though. It's actually really cool.
Well,
I'm just reading. It took 59 minutes for him to go geek on me, but
that's awesome.
With the high resolution right now, and even with Blu-rays and stuff, you could easily pick out green screens, and it totally took you out of the movie. Getting rid of the green screen and just having those types of walls, like you said, like Mandalorian. I think it's awesome to hear that other people are starting to use that technology, because it's just going to make movies look a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, once we get off the show, I'll send you guys a private link to I tend to do like shoot like proof of concept trailers, and also just proofs for like for sales, but also just for distributors to show them like what I'm up to.
Nice.
So yeah, and you guys can kind of like see what I'm actually working on. I sent it to Valerie. She's like, "Oh,
it's so cool."
That'd be so. That'd be really cool.
That,
yeah,
and and we're doing on more of like an indie level. Obviously, we're not the caliber of like Mandalorian with $100 million. So I still like.
That'd be nice though.
Right.
Yeah.
I say that with all our guests. I mean, I don't. All our guests, I say the same thing.
Well, there's a lot of talent.
I would love, if we could all just get that budget. Wouldn't that be so nice?
Yeah, but then you run out. Like I feel like
I think you lose control of it.
Put my foot in my own mouth here, but I think that like one thing I do love about making movies that are a certain tier, but also just even in the independent level, is that it pushes your creativity. Because with voices, it could have been a larger scale film. We had bigger budget, we could easily done a lot of things that I wanted to, but then it also made us become very creative with it, because we didn't have the money, and I think that like that's one thing that drives our creativity is to not the limitations, but just the problem solving aspect of it. You're like, oh man, we got to do this, we got to do this, but when you have that unlimited source, it's like you lose your creativity, or that you see like these big movies being produced but just no substance anymore. And I think that like even with the earlier stages, when when I go back talking about like Twilight Zone and Rod Serling, all these guys, they didn't have that kind of technology and money, but their storytelling was so like creative and just brilliant. It just I mean, like look at Sam Raimi with Evil Dead. I mean, come on. It's like you forget about those kind of things, because they were creative because they were limited by what they had, and I don't know, that's, and maybe there's somebody going to come down and say, yeah, we're going to give you an offer for $50 million to make a movie. It's like, hey, I might retract back what I said, but then again, I like making movies in this way.
Yeah, I think the movie and what you're trying to get and how you want that movie to come across will determine what its budget needs to be. I mean, because you could destroy a movie by throwing too much money at it.
Yeah.
You lose the realness of what it was originally supposed to be.
Yeah, but if you had that kind of money, then instead of rolling like a Prius down the hill in episode 3, we could fucking roll a Lamborghini down the hill.
Yeah, but then you don't get it.
No, I don't.
I think that our challenges with anything in life and creativity end up being our greatest discoveries. So I think that a huge budget is great, but then you don't discover anything. You don't grow, which means you're probably not going to make something super.
In big budget films, people expect a big budget experience.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
I thought it was just so we could order food for the cast.
Then I want to be on that shoot.
Sure, anytime.
Because I've seen very economically done movies that look like it was a huge multi-million-dollar job, and it's phenomenal. And like you said, the creativity of it forces you to do things that you couldn't just say, okay, well, here's a few bucks, take care of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think in a lot of ways that makes it more real.
It would be nice to be like, well, here's a few bucks. Can you get coffee? Instead of, well, I guess we got to go get coffee now.
Well, yeah, but you look at it this way. I mean, I'm
just being an ass.
You get insurance for that.
Oh, look at that! Finally,
yeah. I totally agree with you guys. You know, dealing with a smaller budget, that's where innovation comes in. You know, and it's not the type of camera you have; it's how you use it. You know, and it's not how much money you have; it's the story. Perfect example. Look at Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was amazing up until the last seasons when they ran out of original content and. They had a huge budget, looked great, but no story behind it, and it sucked.
What are we talking about?
Game of Thrones.
GOT.
Oh, yep. I'm sorry, I was stuck on the size of the camera.
Yep. Now I'm a fantasy sci-fi buff. I have never seen one episode of Game of Thrones.
Really?
Nope.
I am lucky. I had like some big events go on in my life. So I've seen every episode until the final season. And I only saw the first episode of the final season, and everybody has told me to just let it lie.
Yep, just let it lie.
Yeah. So I've only seen the good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, see, my problem is I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I sit down and I start watching it, I'm fucked because I'm going to be in that couch until it's done.
Yeah. No,
So
it's
I just don't. But
get it.
So anyway. A little bit about me, why I don't watch Game of Thrones.
But you know what is only 2 hours and available on VOD? The Voices.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is it really?
No. She said The Voice.
Well, yeah, no, I got to watch The Voice.
That's what she was talking about, not Game of Thrones.
I was going to say, how'd they cut that down to 2 hours?
The gummy kicked way in.
And by the way, it's Voices, Jeff, not The Voice. The Voice is a TV show.
Yeah,
Voices.
That's a fucking TV show. What are you doing?
So Nathaniel, you say you what do you work in for your special effects? What software do you use?
I use quite a bit of different things right now. I started getting heavily into Unreal now, and then
nice.
For the earlier stages of stuff that we used to do was basically Maya and 3D Max, and then I was using After Effects to do a lot of the compositing stuff, but now I kind of switched over to Resolve. So since Resolve bought Fusion, so it's all kind of encompassed. And it helps out. When I mastered voices here, I just basically graded it and did like all the small effects. There's a lot of visual effects in voices that, just like erasing stuff, and so it was just easier to do in Fusion. And then go into the final grade and getting stuff out. I still haven't used their audio program yet, and we've been mixing everything in Pro Tools still. But eventually we might move over to Fairlight. But right now, that's kind of like the general pipeline that I do all my editing still in Premiere though. So I do like an assembly cut and then bring it into Resolve to do the final grades.
Nice.
I agree with that last comment, by the way.
Which one?
You'll put
Premiere?
Yes, that one. Right. That comment, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a geek. I'm sorry. It's.
I mean, really, we're an hour and 7 minutes in. Jeff has made some comments. Valerie made some comments. You never blushed once. He talks tech and you light up like a tree.
I was trying to refrain, trying to keep the show on our guests, and didn't want to derail.
Right. Right, but Leo took a good chance.
Yeah.
Yes. Tech boner. Oh my god.
Tech boner. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can we talk a little bit about? Wasn't Valerie? Didn't you do some plays back in the day?
I did.
You did theater, right?
Back in the day.
Didn't we talk about it at the beginning of the show?
No, we didn't.
That's how she got a lot of her accents. Where were you? Go ahead, Valerie. Bring them up to speed, will you?
I want to know. Okay, maybe we did talk about it when we went into accents. I want to know what part she played in theater.
What songs I played in theater? No, I did a lot of them. I grew up mostly doing Shakespeare. I thought I was going to be a Shakespearean actress, and then got to college and was studying that and realized they make no money. And I honestly, I just enjoy the art of telling stories on film a little bit more. They're more subtle, and it was a different challenge and a different art style, and they stay around for a long time, and I liked that. So then I kind of transitioned off theater and went into pursuing film instead.
You played Juliet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I played
When I
Juliet.
was in elementary school, I played Romeo. See, we were meant to be together.
I mean, the fates, man. But then we would both be dead. So aren't you glad?
Touche.
I like it. Nice. Sorry about that.
Leo, we're getting pretty close to that time.
We are.
Any last comments or questions out there that I can't read?
Jeremy's been in the chat room. He just popped in. He said
I'm still celebrating 420.
Yeah. But just have to say is great.
You're late, Jeremy, to 420 and to the show. Welcome.
It's great to see Jeremy popping back on social media. Just have to say that.
Right.
We love you, Jeremy.
Reach out to Jeremy. I want to get him on as a special co-host for one of the shows.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony says he just needs a physical copy now.
Yeah, see, I'll buy a physical copy when it comes up, but it has to be signed.
Sure.
You have to buy it first, and then I'll sign it.
See how easy that is? I would definitely buy it. Well, yeah.
I know we are running on time. I want to urge everybody, definitely check out Voices. It's out on VOD right now, and physical media is soon to come, but definitely check the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And also, Token with the Dead, episode 1 is available now, and that Vimeo link is there. And definitely urge you to check it out. It's issue 1. So, you guys are 2's coming out in a couple months, you said?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully a couple of months. But we're starting to film 3, so we're progressing.
Okay.
It's just a great excuse to come to New York once a month.
Bill just likes to have us here.
Yeah. I think he likes it, the fact that we walk up and down. The studio's on 90,000.
The studio's 90,000
square feet on 10 acres. So it's a lot of walking. And usually he hands us a broom when we're walking. So I don't know what that means, but I think he wants to clean or something.
Well, I think my wife pays him to make me come here.
I know mine does. She says she sleeps better.
Right.
So.
Well, pretty soon, hopefully, I can join you guys. And, speaking of that, for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I urge you to definitely follow our awesome guests here. And I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network. Head on over to thedorkening.com. Over 30 shows on the network. Matter of fact, I'm going to be doing another one just shortly at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern tonight. And we'll start with Nathaniel. Where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
On social media?
Yeah.
Either Instagram or Facebook. I need to get back heavily on social media, but I've just been, super busy. I only check usually Facebook and Instagram really. So.
Sounds good. And same for you, Valerie. Where do you like interacting with your fans?
I am an Instagram girl all the way. I am also on Facebook. I do not tweet, but Instagram is definitely the best way to interact with me. That's the one I'm on. And it's very hard to find me. My screen name is Valerie Jane Parker. So you're going to have a tough time tracking me down on there, but that's where I'll be.
And the links for both Nathaniel and Valerie are in the show notes. And Ben and Jeff?
My hood's all fucked up.
What?
My hood, it was hitting me. Just shut up. Go ahead, talk.
You don't want to follow us, trust me.
Not him.
Yeah. Stilltalking.com. Go to stilltalking.com.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of links. You can click on anything.
Yeah. We're on every social media platform known to man, including MySpace.
Facebook,
yeah.
Toking with the Dead, go to, check us out. Don't ever Google me, though. No. Don't do that.
Is that everything we'll find is true?
And then some.
No, it's not really me. There's another me out there with the name. So you don't trust anything. Never. Nick, unless I tell it to your face, you never trust anything. I don't even trust myself sometimes.
God.
So what you're saying is somebody's looking for you, and we may need to turn you in.
There's somebody looking for me?
We found him. He's right here.
Okay, cool.
I think he's in New York.
Yeah.
Can you pronounce her name now?
What, Valerie Jane Parker.
And
Nathaniel.
Pronounce his last name.
It's not on the screen. Nuon.
Oh, you got it.
Our two wonderful guests tonight. You know, like Leo said, check them out in the show notes, up above, down below, squirrel.
No, you guys have been awesome.
You know, so yeah, to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do every day so people like us can come up here and do what we do every day. We love you. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.